All right, so I'm going to quickly go over simplifying fractions using what I call the ladder method. Um, it's This is a skill you'll need throughout the year, and as you go on throughout the rest of your high school career, and also if you plan on going to college, it's always good to know how to simplify fractions and mixed numbers. So I have a multiplication chart for you just to show you, like if you're not good with multiplication or division, I have the chart to kind of help you out. But I want to simplify 24 with 36. I want to make it smaller. Still the same fraction, just kind of rename it to something that's smaller instead of using the 24 and the 36. So I use what we call the cake method. So I'm going to put 24, or the ladder method. I'm going to put 24 and 36 on a ladder, a rung. Rungs are like the little things you step on the ladder. So this kind of looks like it. So we call it a rung. So what you'll do if you're not good with multiplication or division is you'll go to a column in this multiplication chart and see where you can find a 24 and a 36. It'd be a column or a row, but I need a 24 and a 36. So I automatically see in the 3 column, I see a 24 and a 36. Okay, or in the row 3. So I know both of these are divisible by 3. Well, 3 goes into 24 8 times. And 3 goes into 36 12 times. And then I just draw another piece of the rung, like another piece of your ladder. So now I'm looking for a row or a column that has both an 8 and a 12, okay? So find something with both an 8 and a 12. Okay, here's an 8 and here's a 12, and it's in where you see 4. Now, if you're good with your multiplication or division, you know 4 will divide evenly into 8 and 12. You can go ahead and write that. You don't have to look on the multiplication chart. Okay? So how many times will, and let me show you what I was doing. Let me go back to this. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 8 divided by 4. And here you're going to do 12 divided by 4. You're going to divide by the number that's out here, okay? So 8 divided by 4 is 2. If you're not good with that, go back and find 8, and that was 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so go back and find 12, and in that row, and you go up, and that's 3. But if you're good with multiplication and division, you don't need any of that. Okay. Now, the only number that will go into a 2 and a 3 is just 1. Once the only factor is a 1, you're done. That's the fraction simplified. So you don't have to do anything. So only a 1 will go into 2 and 3. So since only a 1 will go into 2 and 3, this becomes your numerator of the simplified fraction, and this is your denominator of the simplified fraction. But you only get, let me write this, of simplified fraction. But you only get the simplified numerator and denominator once you get to numbers or factors where the only thing that will go into it is a 1. So 24 over 36 in simplest form is 2 over 3, 2/3. Now you didn't have to start off with a 3. Okay, I'm going to erase this. So I'm going to maybe start off with something different because some of you may know something different. But I'm trying to tell you it doesn't matter what number you start off with. So for instance, some of you would say, well, 6 will go into both of those. So 24 divided by 6 is 4, and 36 divided by 6 is 6. Now, what number will go into both 4 and 6? Well, that's a 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Well, the only number that will go into a 2 and a 3 is 1, so stop. And this is your numerator, and this is your denominator. Once you get to two numbers where the only thing that will go into them is a 1, that becomes your numerator and your denominator, those numbers. Okay? Okay, let's take a look at 16/48 and simplifying it. Put 16 and 48 on a rung. And you're going to be looking for a column or a row that has a 16 and a 48 if you're not good with your multiplication facts. But I already know that 4 will go into both of those. And if you don't know that, if you go to your 4s, you'll see there's your 16 in this row, and there's a 48. Okay, so you know that both of those are divisible by a 4. Well, 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 48 divided by 4 is 12. And you can find those numbers here. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and then 48 divided by 4 is 12, okay? If you're not good with multiplication or division. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, now you're going to look for something that will go into a 4 and 12. Well, a number that will go into 4 and 12 is again 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. And the only thing that will go into a 1 and a 3 is a 1. So this makes up my numerator and denominator. So this simplifies to 1 over 3. That's all you do. Someone may have decided that to use an 8. 8 will go into 16 2 times, and 8 will go into 48 6 times. And then 2 will divide into both of these. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's still your 1 over 3. Please don't leave it like this. Write it as a fraction, as 1 divided by 3, or 1/3. 16/48 in simplest form is 1/3. Write it like that, guys. It says simplify each fraction, so I need a fraction. Okay, let's take a look at 15 over 75. That's 15 and 75. I'm going to tell you something. They both end in a 5, so I know, according to my divisibility rules, they're both divisible by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 75 divided by 5 is 15. If you don't know what 75 divided by 5 is, do top and bottom out, or in and out, and then just start dividing. And you will see that it's 15. Now, what number will go into 3 and 15? Well, both of those are divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. The only number that will go into a 1 and a 5 is 1. Once the only number you get that will go into two numbers is a 1, that you stop, and those numbers become your numerator and your denominator. So 15 over 75 simplified is 1 over 5. All right, let's try 18 and 36 on the round. Okay, so 9 automatically comes to mind. Of course, you could have used 6. That also works. 18 divided by 9 is 2, and 36 divided by 9 is 4. Draw another piece of the ladder. All right, so what goes into 2 and 4? Well, that would be a 2. 2 are going to both of those. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. The only number that will go into a 1 and a 2 is just 1. So 1836 in simplest form is 1 over 2. Remember, this is your numerator, and this is your denominator, okay? Now, you didn't have to start off with a 9. I don't care what you start off with, as long as it would divide into both the 18 and the 36. Could have used a 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 36 divided by 6 is 6. And then the number that goes into both 6 and 3 is a 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. I still get 1/2, okay? All right, you can pause the video and try 5 and 6 to see if you get it. Okay, this is what you should have gotten. Sorry. All right. According to my divisibility rules, 5 will go into 10 and 45 because 10 ends in a 0 and 45 ends in a 5. And anything that ends in a 5 or a 0 is divisible by 5. Okay, divide them both by 5. Or you can look in your multiplication chart, and in the 5 column or row, you see a 10 and a 45. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 45 divided by 5 is 9. The only number that will go into a 2 and a 9 is 1. So 10 over 45 simplifies to 2 over 9. Again, this is my numerator and this is my denominator. Okay, let's take a look at 15 and 60. This ends in a 5, that ends in a 0. They're both divisible by 5. Okay? So 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 60 divided by 5 is 12. Now there is a number that will go into both of these, and that is a 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now the only number that will go into a 1 and a 4 is just 1. So this becomes your numerator, and this becomes your denominator. So 15 over 60 simplifies to 1 over 4. And that's how you simplify using the ladder method, okay? I'm going to add a practice which I want you to work on in class or finish it at home where you have to simplify fractions. All right. Thank you.